When you say these young people come up to you and say, thank you, what are they thanking you for?
They're thanking me for confirming their hunch that it is quite all right to be an atheist, quite all right to, you can be a moral person, you can be a deeply engaged person, and you don't have to be apologetic or quiet about it. In the same way you could stand up and say, I'm a Baptist, or I'm a Buddhist, you can say, I'm a Bright.
There's a church in Austin, Texas, where I went to the University of Texas, a Presbyterian church that kicked up a dust storm of controversy itself recently when it admitted an atheist into membership. The pastor says they've gotten letters from both sides. The Christians write to demand, quote, how can you let someone join the church who cannot affirm the divinity of Christ? What's wrong with you liberals? The atheists get letters asking, how can you as an atheist surrender your mind to a superstitious institution that gives birth to the Inquisition and the Crusades? That pretty well sums up the polarity, doesn't it?
No, I think it does, but I don't think we have to be so polarized. I mean, I don't go around advertising my atheism all the time. Anybody asks me, I tell them. I don't think it's that important, quite frankly. I'm not a militant atheist. In fact, I have a lot of the church-going friends. I even go to church myself on occasion.
You go to church? Where?
In New England, I was raised a Congregationalist, and I...
You were raised a Christian?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Did you think that
I went to Sunday school, and I learned the hymns, and I still can recite some psalms, I'm pretty sure. Sure.
Did you think that the life of Jesus was the greatest story ever told, as many of us believed at the time?
I thought it was I thought it was a wonderful story. Yes.
What happened?
I didn't believe the supernatural part of it.
Even then, even as a child?
I can't remember. I guess I did for a while. But as soon as I thought about it seriously, I rejected that. Sure.
When did you become an atheist? What caused the shift?
There was no dramatic shift. I was, I suppose, a teenager, thinking about what made sense and what was plausible, and I saw through other supernatural things just fine. I didn't see any reason to believe in poltergeists or any of the other crazy supernatural stuff, in astrology or trance channeling or anything like that. And I thought, well, I don't see any reason to believe these stories just because they're several thousand years old. Did you
raise your children to be religious?
No, but we did take them to church so that they could hear the music and learn the songs. And we love Christmas, and we have a Christmas carol party that we've had for 25 years, and all our friends come and we all sing the music.
What about your grandchildren? Do you want them to be raised in a traditional?
Yes, I'd like them to know the tradition. I have a grandson, and we've talked about this. He's not, in fact, going to Sunday school now, but that would be fine if he did.
Okay, now what could you unpack this phrase you use, belief in belief? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. I guess it's my favorite chapter in the book is about belief in belief. I began to notice that arguing against the existence of God is sort of pointless in most circumstances, because it's not so much that people believe in God as they believe in belief in God. And in fact, more people believe in belief in God than believe in God. How do I know that? Mm-hmm. Well, with very few exceptions, people who actually believe in God also believe in belief in God. That is, they think it's a good thing. They're all for it. They're proud of the fact that they believe in God. They think it's good. Once in a while, you will encounter somebody who actually deeply, bitterly regrets the fact that they can't shake their belief in God. They wish they could, but it's a weakness. That's a rare individual. So all those people believe in belief in God, and then the people who don't believe in God, they believe, many of them, just believe in belief in God. So there's more, all told. And the more I thought about it, the more I explored this, I discovered how true that is. For instance, I would say, with few exceptions, the most hysterical and vitriolic criticisms of my book have been from people who themselves declare themselves not religious. They don't need religion. But they are the self-appointed defenders of religion, and they believe in belief in God. And they view me as mounting an attack on this. And in a way that I am. I'm saying the belief in God is what is really standing in the way. It's what's doing all the work today. And it's not the only case of belief in belief. That is to say, scientists believe appropriately and passionately in the integrity of science. They want people to believe in science. And anytime there's a fraud in science, they're torn. Do we not only stop the fraud, but expose the miscreant to a huge blast of publicity, or do we quite quietly and discreetly excise this culprit from our midst? Well, there's some powerful reasons for not wanting to parade our villains, because it might undermine the public trust in the integrity of science. On the other hand, it might improve the public trust in the integrity of science. Those strategic issues are issues about belief in belief. It's just that in religion, they're doing all the work.
Where do you think such longing arises?
Well, I think the longing for comfort is not hard to understand. Death is a terrible blow, and our species is unique in all the species on the planet in being able to imagine our deaths and knowing that we're going to die and not liking that idea. And I think we have two competing urges. This is not so much my theory as the theory of several other people that I discuss in my book. One of them is, and these are rooted actually in our biology. They're even rooted in our genes. And one of them is to get away from a corpse. It's dangerous. It's a source of disease. It is something to withdraw from. At the same time, this is a loved one, and that's something to approach. So we're tugged in two completely different directions, and you can't just leave the body of a loved one there. You have to do something. And out of that grows the rituals, the burial rituals, and out of that grows the sense that that person is still there. After all, your head is still teeming with, well, I wonder if she'd like, and what would she think of, and can she see me now? All of these habits of mind that we have about anybody that's close to us, whether we love them or hate them, actually. Those habits don't just stop when a person dies. And so it's very natural to understand how those habits could be turned into a sort of hallucinatory presence.
Joseph Campbell once said to me that he thought religion may well have begun when the first woman realized that was a corpse beside her and wondered where her husband had gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that longing expressed in the woman, that longing expressed in the 84th Psalm, moves on from just the desire for comfort to try to touch something transcendental. At least that's how I read this powerfully poetical language.
Well, Brahms' Requiem is one of the great masterpieces of all time. I've sung it and loved it for years.
What is it touching you?
It touches many chords in me. I can be reduced to a shivering, trembling hulk by Bach, by the St. Matthew Passion, by Brahms. I've sung in a lot of choirs and choruses in my day, and the music moves me tremendously.
Biologically? Is that a biological?
Of course it is.
What do you mean by, you say religion, earlier you said religion has biological roots. What do you mean by that? And you say this response to this great music is biological.
Well, it's partly biological. There's a biological basis. All the great composers knew how to pluck the heartstrings, how to create effects that were deeply moving. Bach was a genius. He did some very clever things. His great chorale cantatas, for instance, he took hymn tunes, the chorale tunes that were already deeply familiar to the people that were coming to church.